Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to the channel and the Holzforma 660 build for SawFest, supplied by TriStar Supply LLC.com. So if you haven't checked them out, check them out. Anyways, enough of that. I wanted to share with you guys the progress that I've made on this saw just a little bit, and share a really neat little trick that any of you guys can do. We all know about the ProFlow high filter kits, and I want to show you how to make a cheap one on your own. Well, first off, I went back into this and I changed my port timing numbers a little bit. I lowered the intake floor a little bit more, and I raised the transfers a little bit more, and I haven't ran, and I timing advanced it a little bit more, and I haven't ran it yet in its current configuration. But some of the other little things that I did was I installed the steel ElastoStart setup that you can find on the newer big saws. I think the 661 has it. I'm certain it does, but I know the 500i has it as well. And you know, steel does some things that are really good. This is one of them. And I will say, though, it's really expensive. I think I paid like $32 for this, but I want you to check it out. See that? That really helps out whenever you're starting a high compression saw like this. So if you're having a rough time, hurting your fingers, maybe you got a little bit too much timing advance, and you get some kickback and stuff, these things are lifesavers, and they make a saw that is difficult to start seem easier to start. So let's not take that for granted. That's an actual good upgrade. But anyways, what I did for the filter, of course you can see the holes that I drilled. All I did was a stepper drill bit. You know, they look kind of like a cone. Zip, zip, zip. Zip, zip, zip. Looks sweet if you ask me. I love it. But then the filter itself. So this came with a really restrictive filter. It has like a cloth that's wrapped around it, and then it has a wire mesh that's wrapped around it, and then on top of that there was another cloth-like outerwear. All of that stuff really hampers your airflow, and this is why the ProFlow kit for the steels is so popular. However, it's also expensive. I believe you need two things to make the ProFlow work. You have to buy this portion, as well as a new cover that's bigger and bulkier. And you know, that's fine and dandy. I can't remember off the top of my head how much they cost. I think it's about 60 bucks. Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe a little bit less, I don't know. But what I decided to do, because I don't want to spend any more money on this than I have to. I mean, I got the saw for, you know, as a sponsorship deal, so I didn't even have to pay for the saw, so I'm deadly grateful for that. However, at the same time, you know, all the little stuff, and it's neat to know these little tips, these little tricks, okay? So what I did was I ripped off all of the mesh. You can see here that there's nothing but this green foam filter, nothing but. I ripped it all off, and I will say that it was a pain. It was a bear. You know, it was a real bear to get all that stuff off of there. But then I went to Ace Hardware, and they sell all kinds of different filter things for lawn mowers and things of that nature. Well, this right here was one of those things that they sold. It's just, it comes, it's flat. I mean, this is the excess that I bought, or that I cut off, I mean. It comes just like that. Of course, it was wider, and I cut it. But all I did was take it. I just picked one that I thought would work, put it over top of this, and then I used safety wire, wrapped it around it, twisted it up. You can see right there the ends of it, and we're good to go. Look at that. That right there is probably going to flow just as good as your expensive ProFlow air filter. Now, I believe the ProFlow air filters are a little bit taller. It's a little bit contrary to the way we normally think, but in filters, the bigger the filter, the less restriction to flow that there is. because it's the amount of area that you have to pull air through. Okay, so it's less restrictive. So the ProFlow might flow more than this, but probably not by much. But whenever you get these foam filters, what I do, I put them inside of a little plastic bag. I got my PJ1 foam filter oil. I spray it up. Try not to get this stuff on your fingers because it is really a sticky oil that takes a lot of soap to get it off of there. If you don't do this, your foam will filter. It will still filter stuff, but a lot of the fines will get passed through, or it's a possibility at least. I have ran them without any oil to no detriment, but this is the way it's intended to be done, and I would recommend you do it. Once you got it all good and oiled up, you just literally inside that bag, work in the oil as best you can. Have a paper towel ready. Wipe off the top of it because you don't need it on that plastic part. There we go. We have the poor man's ProFlow air filter cover. So that little piece of foam that I got from Ace Hardware, it's a Kohler product. You know, Kohler engines, they're like Briggs and Stratton. And I think it was 16 bucks. So for $16, a little bit of safety wire that I already had, and a step drill bit, we've got better flow. So quick little tip, how to make a ProFlow air filter work setup for your 660 clone, any of that stuff. And if you have a cage like that, I mean, a lot of the steels run that exact same air filter setup, you know. I mean, I don't know if they'll fit one model to the next, but they have that cage. It comes that way. Just rip out all of the guts, leave the cage intact, wrap some foam around it. But you want the right foam, not just any foam will work. This is 4 air filters, you know, so it flows well. And bada bing, bada boom, you're done. Instead of 60, 70 bucks, however much they cost, I don't know, 80, I don't even know, because I was like, I'm not paying it. It could have been $40, and instead of paying 40 bucks, I paid 16. So